All right, Griz Nation, we are back. This is the Fight on Montana podcast. Adam Healy here with Luke Rounds. We're gonna talk about some great things that happened over the weekend.
Oh, what a weekend it was.
Man. But first, guys, we want to kind of give you some updates here. We'll do Griz update first, and then we'll go into some other updates as well. So, men's basketball over the weekend, Thursday, they had a hard loss, 78-69 against North Dakota State in Missoula as well. But here, upcoming in their schedule, they play Houston down in Houston, Texas, the day after Thanksgiving. Houston's like number 6 in the nation. And then following Wednesday, they play in Reno, Nevada against Nevada. And so I don't know if I don't think the Houston game you can see on ESPN Plus, and it doesn't look like the Nevada game is on ESPN Plus as well. So those games, you're going to probably have to go to a bar and see those games, guys. So those games are the Nevada game's at 7 and the Houston game's at 2 Montana time, Mountain time. So definitely go support them and cheer on those Griz basketball men. So the women, Lady Griz, they're actually playing as we speak against Grand Canyon in Arizona today. And then they play Dickinson State back in Missoula on the 27th. So that game, those games are on ESPN Plus, so you guys can catch those after you yeah. So never mind. I was like, oh, they could just catch it right after us. I'm like, we're not live. So
yeah, we're not live. We're not live.
We're not live. So
we're probably watching it right now.
Yeah, you're probably watching it right as we speak. So yeah. Volleyball. Luke and I were talking about this before we got on. The women got paired up with number 3 Montana State in Greeley, Colorado. And they play Wednesday at 4 p.m. That'll be on ESPN Plus. So I think they split each other beat each other at their home place, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too. And if the volleyball just wants to keep rolling with the football team to this weekend, we'd all be fine with that. So
that's right.
Just go ahead and do that.
Just keep on adding those wins. So so that's all I got for a Griz update. That tournament, the volleyball tournament, starts Wednesday and then it goes into, I think they break on Thanksgiving and then they start up again on Friday, I believe.
I think that's right.
So they do have that on ESPN Plus, so you guys can watch and support there. But yeah, some other things that we wanted to kind of get you up to date. If you guys haven't seen, Luke has been slaving away. This was Luke's baby, and he has been working really hard. So I'm gonna let Luke take it away, man.
Yeah, so I've always wanted to do an FCS bracket challenge. A BMAC, one of the sports writers, used to do one in the past. And so I thought how cool it'd be to do a Fight on Montana podcast FCS bracket challenge. So if you haven't seen it, we've thrown it out there on Twitter. We've also put it on like the Montana Grizzly fan page on Facebook and stuff. Okay. Basically, all you got to do is grab a bracket, fill it out, and send that bracket to fcsbracketchallenge@gmail.com. And make sure you send it in by Saturday, 11/25, by 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Yeah, 8 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. I think it's Mountain Time or something like that. So before the game start, as long as I have them before the game start, that's what matters. Any brackets sent after the game start won't count. It's totally free, so there's no charge. But we do have prizes for first, second, and third place. As far as tiebreaker goes, put the final score where you think the final score of the championships game is going to be. But it's a lot like, your NCAA basketball tournament brackets, where each round you get more points for the ones you get right and stuff. You can also, if you have questions, hit us up on Twitter, all the normal spots. But as far as the prizes go, we have this nice wooden banner that has the Up With Montana Boys fight song on it that you can hang up in your house. Really cool. I've got one in my house. Actually, I love it. It's very cool. So that'll be the first place. Second place is a Griz mini helmet. And third place is a Montana Grizzlies license plate holder. So if you're a fan of another team and you want to play, that's fine. But if you win, you're getting Griz.
You're getting Griz stuff.
It is what it is. Don't complain. It's free. Also, just one entry per person is what we're doing right now. But yeah, if you want to just grab that, you can find that bracket on like ncaa.com or whatever. Jody Cast, who made those Griz cat shirts that I had.
Oh yeah.
She also has an editable bracket that she is posted as well too. So you can go on there and grab that too. But I just thought it'd be fun. We've already got 2 entries that have been emailed to us. So keep those rolling in. I plan to enter one myself. I know my daughter and wife do too. So hopefully Adam will see yours as well.
Exactly.
This isn't like one of those things where if you work for Coca-Cola, you can't compete in it. We can compete in this too. So
exactly. You guys are going against us. So, you know, if you lose, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they see our points every once in a while. We like to think we know what we're doing, but we don't. And just like that stupid Versus app, it was totally wrong this last weekend. And we'll just, you know, keep beating that thing up. So
I love it. I love it when it's wrong.
I do too. I absolutely love it when it's wrong in our favor, for sure.
Exactly.
So that's the bracket challenge. If you guys have any questions, hit me or Adam up. We'll let you know. It's just for fun. Just thought it'd be fun, especially the fact that we're the 2 seed. Why not do a bracket challenge?
Why not?
For the listeners of the Fight on Montana podcast. So the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick before we get into the game and stuff was we all know Clifton's comments that he said Battle of the Brawl, and we've been seeing these T-shirts out there. Well, Clifton approached us and let us know that the sites that have been up there are bogus. They are not real. Don't order from them. If you did, I actually made the mistake and ordered from them. I may not be getting a shirt. I may just lost my money probably. So you might want
to hold that card a little bit too.
So we're trying to get rid of them and stuff. If you can do us all a favor and Clifton a favor, and just like let other people know that those sites are totally bogus. The one that is real, Clifton posted today. If you go to Twitter, everybody's been sharing it, but himself actually posted the link to it. If you click on that link, it's going to take you to a Google Docs. In that Google Docs, what you do is you fill out all your information, like your size, name, address, and everything, and then you submit it. Here's the tricky part. In there, it all talks about you either have to Venmo the money or use the Cash App, and it's at Maggie-Weta. That's the Venmo one, or it's Megan Burns 3 is the Cash App. You send that to them, and then they'll get you the shirt. So if you have any questions on this stuff, you're welcome to ask us. We actually talked to Clifton, messaging back and forth, make sure that's how you did it. That's exactly how you do it. And this will actually support Clifton and like the NIL and stuff. So that's the one we want to use. Don't use the other stuff. If you don't see it from Clifton, it's not real.
That's a shame that people are doing that. That's just not cool.
Yeah, it's not cool at all, especially when we finally have a day and age when, you know, something like this could help a player. Yeah. Someone else is trying to benefit off of it, which is BS. So if you don't see like Clifton posting it, don't click on that link.
Exactly. And then also just keep on telling people that if you see it, just say this is bogus, and reply underneath there. Because that's what I've been doing. I think that's what Luke has been doing too.
And there's a handful of other fans doing the same thing, just getting the word out that this is not right. Don't do this. Don't use these sites. So
So hopefully they didn't get too much money, and if you did get one, pretty much freeze your cards so they can't get more money out of you. So and go support Clifton. Amazing year that he's had, and amazing supporter, and amazing just beacon for our university as well. So go support him.
He definitely loves being a Griz, and he's just been a great leader for our team. So
exactly. Well, it wasn't the outcome that I was expecting, and I'm fine with that. At halfway through, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that I lost that the score challenge there. I think, and Luke beat me by 3 points, but it
didn't even matter this week, man.
I know. It's okay. I'll take that loss. I'll take that loss every day. So 37-7.
Oh my gosh. It's just like, I mean, no one saw this coming. The closest thing I saw coming, Sean Rainey puts this thing out, like throw your scores and other predictions. And I threw out, we'll hold them under 200 yards of rushing. And I think he tweeted me back, like, that's a pretty bold statement. Well, guess what? We almost did it. I think we
almost did.
213, am I right? Or 207?
You got it right here. So they had total net 213. Yep.
13. So I
Yep.
missed it by 14 yards then.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, holy cow. No one's done that this year.
No. Well, and what's crazy is they're averaging like 430, I think, in total
Yeah.
yardage. Like
Yeah.
they got 280.
Yeah.
So
during the game, and I've never seen this. There's one of our fans, AK Grizzlies from Alaska, flow down.
yeah.
And he's sitting right in front of me. Second time we've sat close to each other. Last year was a SEMO game, but he goes, Luke, look at this. They had negative 14 yards passing.
Jeez.
And we were both trying to figure out how that happens. I'm like, were they backward passes? How does that happen? Because like your sack yardage, that counts towards your rushing yards.
Yep.
Well, I was like, I don't know how they have negative 14. Yeah, our defense was playing holy cow, like out of their minds.
They could not do anything. And you know, the like we said on the podcast is that bend don't break defense. Like they got, they're gonna get their, big long rushes.
Yeah.
And they did a couple of them, but right after that, they got smacked.
Yeah.
And they did not know what to do. It was hilarious. The fans even were shocked. It was so awesome Sunday going through because I had to drive back Sunday, and I had my old school stuff on. I had my FGC hat on. I don't go through Bozeman usually, and I don't stop, but I had to. And the looks, it was so quiet though. The looks were amazing. Because Friday I got threatened to get beat up in a Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so, but going home, it was just fine. So
yeah, there was I mean, like the Cat fans were definitely cocky going into this. I mean, so we arrived at the Missoula airport, and our airplane is mainly full of Griz fans. There was a handful of Cat fans.
Yeah,
we're all going down the escalator to go get our baggage, and there's a group of Cat fans yelling "Go Cats" at the bottom. And all the Griz fans were just standing there kind of looking pissed. We're not saying much, but just touting around like they own the place.
Yeah.
So not just to beat them, but to embarrass them a little bit was just fine with me.
Oh, man.
I guess as Bobby put it, that was an ass kicking. And I loved it.
Well, and he's getting slack for that how that's not classy and whatever. Like he said that when we lost to them last year, is that they kicked our butt. Like, I don't understand why, you're complaining about it.
Here's the thing. Like, I saw Cat fans putting that up, right? Where he said that, and they're putting Tommy's quote from last year, which was really classy, what Tommy said last year. Well, what they don't do is they don't wait for Clifton to get interviewed, where he does give props to the Cats and stuff. They just left that part out because, it doesn't fit their narrative. So, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. They got to complain about something. And, if they want to be the winners of complaining, then that's just fine. And they can be that. But we've got the Brawl trophy for a year. And the biggest probably Brawl of the Wild, 37-7. We have also 2 trophies, which I stayed longer just to film and kind of get pictures of it. Cause it's like,
we too, my family, we were like, we're going to stay here. They just won the Big Sky Conference Championship. Let's see.
Yeah, exactly. So once in a lifetime opportunity that we're like, we're going to stay, we're going to enjoy this. And it was awesome, man. It was in just going there, you could, the tension, just the atmosphere was pumping. Oh, yeah. And even when you weren't in, like the game hadn't started yet, it was amazing.
Yeah, you could definitely tell it was, this was going to be a different day today.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like you said, the feeling, everybody's aura around us. It was just, it was something else.
Yeah. So, going into it, guys, let's go over some statistics. So some of these statistics are just amazing. So total first downs, we had 22 first downs, so there are 13 first downs.
So at one point, we had more first downs than they had yards, I remember.
Oh, yeah.
It was like 9 first downs. They didn't have 9 yards yet.
They got 2 of those first downs off of penalties, by the way, and just to let you know. So rushing yards, they had 213. They still averaged 6 yards per carry, but that's 3 less than what they've been averaging, like 7 or 8.
And to be realistic, it was a couple big runs that they busted out.
Yeah.
Again, like with those big runs, one thing I noticed, our freaking angles that our guys were taking were awesome. Most teams, that would have been 6. They were taking the best angles to make sure that we could get him down.
Exactly. Total net passing. This is amazing. 67 yards.
Hey.
They had 4 of 16 completions, an interception. Their average was 4.2. And they got their touchdown off of that one pass, which, you got to give little brother something. And I said that right to a Cat fan that was sitting by us. Someone's like, oh, man, they scored. It's like, hey, you got to give little brother something or he stops playing with you. So, and they looked right at me. And I'm like, what? What are you going to say, man? So
the funny part about that whole thing with the passing was, too, last week we were talking, we're like, we got to make them one-dimensional. We got to stop the run. We did, because we both mentioned this. Make them pass. They suck at it. And boy, did they. Malott struggled. Then they brought Chambers in, and all he could throw it was at their feet or in the dirt.
Oh, jeez.
It's like,
I think he was pissed, too. The one that he was down there, and they threw him in there, and they got that, I think it was like an offsides. He was like yelling at his running back, and the running back's like, no, I'm not going to do what you want me to do. Like, there was some hostility between the quarterbacks and the running back. It was just really odd.
They were at each other's throats, and they were breaking down. Like, they were not at all.
No, they weren't used to that, and that just says how much of a awesome team that we have, that we, no matter what, even in the NAU game, I never saw players getting mad at each other during that game. Maybe not putting forth the effort, but never like what the neighbors were doing in this game.
It was similar to what happened to Sac State too. They started breaking down and getting after each other. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. Total offense, 280 yards out of 51 plays. Their average was 5.5. They had a fumble that we almost had, and then 6 penalties for 38 yards. So their punting was pretty good. They've got a good punter. And I'm surprised some of the things that they did. Like, a lot of those punting yards, so like 2 or 3 of those punting yards were at the end of the game, and Bergen just kind of fair caught him, just because I think he kind of was like, let's not,
Yeah, I think they were like, just fair catch it, and don't do something that'll give them any momentum to get back in this.
Exactly. Don't piss them off, and just be a sportsmanship. So, the kickoffs, we had 7 for 65 yards. They had 2 for 64.5. So the big one that I think the kickoff return after they had scored and Bergen took it 50 yards.
Was awesome.
Was amazing. Almost beat the punt or the kicker, and then got pushed out. But
I thought he was going to go. When he came to the kicker, I was like, come on, you got it. And then, got pushed out barely, though. So, but I mean, that just, anytime he does that, it just gets everybody so fired up.
Yeah,
the whole offense is just like, let's go put this in.
Exactly. Just anytime that he touches the ball, you don't know what can happen, and anything can happen. Possession of the ball, guys, 34 minutes and 44 seconds and 25 and 16 was great, because, we had mentioned on the podcast is like, you got to do the Idaho, right? You got to get ahead of them, because they do not like playing from behind. They are not used to it.
They're not built for it either.
Obviously. They are not, and if you get 2 touchdowns, 17 points, they do not like it. The stat of the day, 3rd down conversion, 1 of 10 for the neighbors, 7 of 14 for us. That was just absolutely amazing.
1 for 10.
Yeah.
And that doesn't count the 4th down ones that they missed on too.
There's 0 of 4 and 4th down.
Yeah.
So
crazy. I mean, the defense was just like, hockey term, standing on their heads, just like, holy cow. And the way they were flying around too, I was just like, they are just laying wood out there. They're trying to take the football out of these guys on offense. They don't want to play no more. I mean, they were just jacking people up and hitting people. And for guys like Wilson, where it's his first rivalry game, Man, you would have thought he was a senior playing in his 4th rivalry game the way he was flying around that field. It's like, Jesus, he's going to kill somebody out there.
Exactly. And then if you look at the drive charts, man, it is absolutely amazing. So the first quarter, they had 2 drives. They had 3 plays for 4 yards. And then they had 6 plays for 50. And they had a field goal attempt, but did not get the field goal.
Yeah,
that was that big
left, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was that big run that Tommy had there.
Yeah.
Then you've got, 7 for 48, 3 for 8, 4 for -5, 5 for 75. They got a touchdown on that one. And then 7 for 27, 6 for 39. And then the last couple on the fourth quarter were 3 for 2 and 3 for 2.
Yeah.
Just absolutely crazy numbers. One of the huge plays that I thought was Gubner when he blew up that running back. Yeah. That was a hit. Oh my goodness.
When he did that, we were all freaking out in the stands. And here's the greatest part about it. All of us around Griz fans were all doing this sack dance. And we're all doing the bench press dance. I was just like, not just like me and AK, it was like everybody around us was doing it.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome.
Yep. Oh man, he lit up. And Riley Wilson did the same thing on some of his. Really did really well. The whole defense, you could just say the whole defense did amazing. And then Janet Carroll, the next play, did an amazing job of blowing it up.
Janet Carroll, another one, flying around, playing with his hair on fire. It was like, holy cow. At one point in the game, my dad was sitting right behind me. He's like, I haven't seen 37 much. And it was like the next play, boom. I was like, he's right there. There he is. I was like, him and Wilson rotate a little bit. That's why you haven't seen him all. It was like, but I mean, the way that we keep those guys fresh too. I mean, it's just like as soon as you think something might let up, we're putting another fresh body and he's in there to just blow stuff up. It's just wow.
Yeah.
Another person to see back on the field that was great was Gradney, baby. Nice to see him out there again.
Got the pick too. So that was awesome.
That was so cool.
So 5 interceptions on the year so far. So
exactly. So far, we got more opportunities.
So far. And that interception was a good one too, because he had to go down for that too. So
that was not an easy pick. Like at first when he picked that, I didn't think he had it. And then oh man, so cool.
And then on the offensive side, guys, as well, it was good to see Fonts back and healthy, just jumping over people and stuff like that.
Well, and that was that one catch he had where he got the foot in and like the ball. Like, so I couldn't tell from where I was sitting. Like we were like, man, I think he probably was out. Why rewatched the game? Holy cow. What?
He was in.
Yeah. Well, and he controlled the ball basically. It was almost a one-handed catch. Like he basically controlled it with his one hand. I was just like, oh my gosh. Holy cow. I mean, the talent that he has and the control. It's like we have got some really, really good receivers. Like
we do.
They continually amaze me each time I see him out there at the things that they can do.
Well, and you look at Sawyer Recanoa, that he didn't have that many catches, but he did have that, I believe, the pass.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. We were a little razzle dazzle out there again.
Exactly. So, the neighbors also, one thing that I kind of picked up on is we made them on offense feel so just out of sorts, but also on defense as well. The neighbors usually don't blitz that much. They started blitzing us so much, and it was crazy to see because they just had to do something to get back into the game.
I feel like it was their coordinator didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I don't know. Okay. And so instead of doing what's worked for them, they went, let's try this, let's try that and stuff.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed, like watching them from the end, I love sitting in the end zone because you can see this, but the way they were lining up, we'd seen them bring an 8 in the box constantly. They were still doing that, but they were leaving the center wide open, which surprised me. This was allowing like us to get A-gap runs and stuff. And I was like, I watched them and I was like, this isn't what they normally do. What are they? I don't know what they're doing here, and it was opening up stuff for us. I mean, great for us, but it was just surprised me that they would change things up like that.
And they were trying to and a couple of times it did work where they were leave it open and then they'd clamp down and then automatically shut it, right? Like a door. But after we kind of got McDowell kind of running out of there, it didn't work. And it was really interesting that they kind of kept with that too.
Yeah.
So it was awesome to see Osmo make that huge run. Kind of fitting to kind of end his on senior day to kind of end it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm still hoping that he comes back next year. Just hoping.
We'll see what happens there, man. Because you get that itch, and we still got a lot of football to play.
Exactly.
But I do have something I want to say about that. So right before that play happened, so we're sitting there. Offense comes back, and I think they ran one play before, and my wife looks over to me and she goes, "Look at the score." And I was like, "What?" She goes, "It's 30-7." How cool would it be if we could make it 37?
I said that to my friend too.
And I was like, "Oh my god, that would be awesome!" Very next play is when Osmo busts it for freaking yards and scores that touchdown. I was just like, I was freaking out and taking it. I was high-fiving and hugging everybody around me. This is so awesome, man. I mean,
so I said that to my friend too, and then he sent me something today as a question. Which I didn't know, and so it'll be an interesting question at the end. So stick with us.
Cool. Cool.
But very, very cool.
Just fitting for us to win the 122nd. 10 for 10 with the two, if you don't count the one. But I mean, win this game and shove it in their face with 37 points. I mean, that's just you can't write stuff that. Like, I mean, if you wrote that stuff for a movie, they'd say it was fake.
Oh yeah. And just I loved the video. If you guys have not seen the video that Riley Corcoran did.
Oh my god. It was praying that they would post that, and he reposted it today. They put it out so you can rewatch it. Good.
And then the third quarter, I think it was the third quarter, it might have been the fourth, the Monet troll.
I was like, they're doing it. Oh my god. The problem with me is I hate that song so much. I was just like I got why we did it and then they trolled them, but I was just like, God, I hate this song. Yeah, it was funny. For Bobcat that was still sitting in there. A lot of them around us left. They were
really.
We
had one that left, and then there's a big section over on the sideline that was still there, but they were just looking at the north end zone, what the.
Well, you're sitting over there. I think that's where they put the parents of the other opposing on the side over there. But I mean, so when the game started too, we had some Bobcat fans right behind us, and some of them were just hammered. And then there was one lady, and she just had this piercing scream, just "Wow, Bobcats!" And I was just like, "Oh my god, we have to kick their ass quick because I cannot handle that." And after the second score, we didn't hear much out of her.
Yep.
Her and her husband just kind of sat there. So I want to thank the Griz for that, because there's no way I was going to handle that freaking piercing scream. I mean, right when she first did it, all of us looked like, oh my God, we can't deal with this all day.
So
the Griz taking care of that and not making me listen to that all damn day.
Exactly. Well, I have to tell you a funny story. So going into half, right?
Yeah.
That whole crazy scenario. So I didn't know what happened. I was holding liquid since the start of the game, and I was like, I've got to go. And so when they sacked Chambers, I start heading for the bathrooms, and it's a god awful wait for the bathroom, and I barely make it back to my seat, and when halftime is starting, and I look at the score, and I'm like, I talked to my friend Mike. I'm like, Mike, how do we get 20?
Yeah.
I'm like, it just started. He's like, oh yeah, funny situation. I'm like, what happened? He's like, I'll tell you in just a second. I'm like, no, you have to tell me now. What the heck happened? So I had to rewatch it and see that crazy scenario. I have
that was wild. That. Well, and so during the game, I mean, because like you, a lot of people left because they were heading to the tailgates. Thinking, oh, okay, what's done here. But when they make that sack, there's 1 second left, and so I rewatched it too because during the game it was going so fast, and you're trying to look at all the different times and everything, and so I just thought the time was out, and that's what I mean. The players, everybody did. They're in the locker room, they pull them back out.
Yep.
Well, you watch the replay,
It was
sure
1
enough,
second.
there's 1 point something seconds
Yeah.
left. So, and then of course the penalties and like it was just like that was one thing that felt like there's been Griz Cat games where it feels like the ball is not bouncing our way.
Yeah.
And you're just like, but boy, this weekend we were getting member bounces left and right. I mean, it was just like it just felt like it was going to be our day. Like I just kept feeling like there's just no way we're going to lose this game. Like no way.
Well, after the McDowell fumble where we got it back, first they told us it wasn't ours, and I was like, no way, that is not ours. Like that is nuts.
Well, that's what I was in the south end zone. We could see we had the ball. We were like, why are they calling it the other direction? We had
yeah, exactly. But no, that's crazy. Some crazy things. But I'm glad that they went our way.
No.
And they missed a lot of offsides and just like false starts. Like it was just constant. And so it was also really interesting to hear Gregoriak and Morningwood going at it.
I wrote that down. I wanted to talk about that. So Ty Gregoriak and Marty's just like kind of trolling on the Cats a little bit because Marty's Griz, man.
Oh yeah,
Gregoriak's a turncoat. You know, I used to really like Ty. Then he went into the Cats, and he's still obviously a Cat fan.
Oh yeah, huge.
Man, Marty was just. And Marty's saying the right things, but he's kind of just giving it to the Cats. And Ty's just like, well, we can still come back and they can blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, and Marty's just like, shut up, Ty. It's just like trolling him. It was awesome.
And Marty was right. He's like, you have to be able to pass the ball. You're down 17 points. I don't know why they're sticking with the running.
Yeah.
It's not working. Oh, and then Gregoriak, whatever his name is, I can't even say his name. It's like, well, you know, they're doing, this is what they do, and blah, blah, blah. And it was at one point, Morning was like, they are not going to win if they do not throw the ball. And then Gregoriak is like, yeah, I agree. They have to do something different. And it's like, goodness gracious. I'm like, dude, that guy knows way more than you and your left pinky. So just shut up.
It's so funny how frustrated I was getting with Marty, and Marty knew it and just kept feeding him it.
Yeah.
Pissing him off, and I was just like, I'm in Spokane, and like my background's different this week, and so we were rewatching it last night, and I was just chuckling at Marty. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I rewatched this to hear Marty just giving it to Ty. I was like, that's awesome. Just one more reason why I love Marty, and man, I really hope we can get him on the show.
That would be awesome. If I don't think Marty's listening to this, but Marty, if you are listening to this, that's amazing. But yeah, we need to get you on because that would be amazing. I probably wouldn't be doing too much talking. I'd just be like,
no, I'd just be sitting here listening. Just like, tell us more, Marty.
Yes, tell us some stories.
Give us more football wisdom.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to see after season's over or something if there's a way we can line that up somehow. So
that would be awesome. That would be amazing. So, yeah, it was a great weekend. I can't. Oh man, it was just awesome. I can't say even more than that. So, my voice was dead after that game. I was like, I need either some lozenges and some lemon or some whiskey because like I am like dying.
Well, that's why I'm glad that we do this pod on Mondays because like yesterday was rough.
Yeah,
my poor wife had a little bit of laryngitis going into the game.
Oh no,
we're not talking all tomorrow. Yesterday.
Oh geez.
But it's like everybody around us was giving it their all.
Yeah.
Yelling and stuff and screaming. The student section, man, they were on point. They were just
really
giving the FTC chant and just yelling. And then they roll out the humble pie banner, you know.
Oh, that was awesome.
God. They were just, I mean, our students are back into this. Like there were some years there where they weren't. They are like all the way in. I want to applaud Botner too for the pizza thing again, because at halftime, like a lot of people leave. Those students don't leave. They are there. They just stay right there. So, I mean, you know, hats off to the students and how committed they are. And, you know, the ones that didn't wear shirts, I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Because
it was cold.
It was, man.
It was cold.
45 and I didn't quite dress for it. But, God, just like you said, a fun weekend. I mean, so I was so superstitious still. Like usually during games, I'll take pictures and stuff of like the scoreboard. I didn't take pictures until it was zeros. And then I took pictures and like took pictures of my family because I was just like, I got to stay focused on this. I don't want to jinx this at all. Like we're
you're like
rolling.
my friend. He was like, when it finally got to 37-7, he's like, okay, I think we've won. I'm like,
Yeah.
really? Like
Well,
right now? Like 37-7? Like what?
My moment was when Osmo ran it in. That's when I was like, okay, we've got it. We're winning this for sure now. Because it's like, you know, I was just like, there can't be some weird thing or just like, and part of it's because like for instance, that SDSU game with the Cats, I thought SDSU had it, and then all of a sudden they came back and stuff. And so at 37-7, I was like, okay, the stars are aligning. We're far enough apart here. There's no way they can come back now. Yeah. And then I started like, it's like, okay, I felt a little easier. I'm still yelling my butt off, but just like, okay, I feel a little safer now. So
right when Gradney, I knew we had it when Gradney intercepted. Like they weren't going to be throwing. You know, I think that was it was 30-7 at that point. It was not going to go their way.
Well, and like when they brought Chambers in, it felt like they were trying to get that switch up. The ball, and everything was just. I mean, we were pressuring him, and everything was just in the dirt and off. And I was just like, "Oh my god, they're falling apart."
Did you? I don't know who it was, but it was either Braxton or Janicaro. Did you see the hit that they put on him?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe he got up. I'm like, oh my Lord.
Like our guys are hitting. I mean, they're just laying the wood out there. I mean, that whole team, that bus ride back, they've got to be hurting. Like
man,
they got to feel lucky that they're not playing this weekend. Like
no, and Chambers, when he went to the sideline, he looked like he was like stiff and hurt. Like, and I think he's been nursing some injuries anyways. But
I think so too. I mean, Bobby kept talking about that, and you know, I still think too. Like so last year we got our butts kicked, right?
Yeah,
and like I said this last pod, we beat Eastern 63-7, and I was way overconfident last year. Like, oh my gosh, if we can do that, we're going to hammer the Cats on the road. And I really think that they thought that too. After they whooped on Eastern like they did, and Chambers, like they kept talking, oh yeah, Sean Chambers, Ty said this stuff. You know, he scored 5 touchdowns on 7 tries last week or whatever the hell it was. It's like he was, you know, the greatest quarterback to ever live, but like better than Tebow and all the rest of these. It's like they came in and you know, the Palmer boys talked about this on the Griz fan pod. You know, come in, hit him in the mouth. That's exactly what our defense hit these guys in the mouth.
Yep.
Our offense did the same thing to their defense. It was like they came in thinking they were just going to walk over us, and we were here like, no, you're not going to walk over us.
Yep.
This is our house, and we're going to kick your ass.
Oh, and they kept their foot on the neck too, right? Yeah. Not for that fighting term, and they just did not let up. At some point in the quarter, I was so amazed by Clifton's accuracy too, just the way he was throwing the ball. You know, he wound up being 17 of 22 for 200 yards, 1 touchdown. Did get sacked 3 times, but you know, that was amazing. Some of the passes he was getting through, the one to Drew Deck was amazing. I don't know how Drew Deck caught that as well. Yeah. It went through another guy's hands.
When he caught that, I went, who the hell was that guy? And I was like, oh, that's Deck. Because he just pretty much saw it. Threw me off a little bit.
Yeah. And so, you know, some of those passes were just amazing. And then Ayat did very well too. Some of those passes that he completed kind of got called back for some penalties, but it was good to see him out there as well, kind of get him acquainted to that rivalry as well.
And good thing that he throws a really hard ball, because that one was close to being picked, but there's no way to grab that. But and Ayat knows the rivalry. I mean, his dad, I'm sure, informed him of all about what these guys are about. But on another note, I wanted to mention with Clifton, we talked about how accurate he was. He was really smart with the ball too. There was times he threw it right in the dirt at our guys' feet, knowing that there was no way to put it, but rather than getting a chance of someone picking it or anything, threw it right to the ground. I was just like, you know, his football intelligence is so good, and he just every week just keeps getting better and better. I'm just amazed by him and his leadership too for our team.
Exactly. Well, and this is what surprised me. I was looking at the rushing results, right? And you know, I thought Eli had a great game, and I thought, oh yeah, he's probably got close to 80. He did not get close to 80.
What did he have?
He had 36.
That's it? Boy.
He had 11
like
rushes.
He had a lot more rushing yards than that.
Yeah, he had 11 rushes for 36, but the net was 33. He averaged 3 yards a carry. He had some really good runs as well.
Yeah.
McDowell had 12 for 69, and then Osmo had 7 for 85.
And that one was, I don't know how long that one was.
64 was his long.
Yeah. So that was his big one. But
yeah,
there was a couple though. There was one that he got, I think on the first series that he got caught, and I thought he was going to go, and even Clifton did, because he kind of like he just got caught. Osmo did, but it was nice, like you said, to see him bust that big one, especially on the Cats, D line and run defense. It was supposed to be, better than ours, even though we were the first ranked. People were like, oh, they're better than the Griz, even though, just to show them that we could, put those kind of numbers in our backs and our line could do what they did against them, man, that's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. And then Bergen, 9 receptions for 91. Fonts had 4 for 43. And then Osmo had 2 for 31. And Keelan had a great day as well. He only had 2 for 22, but, 228 yards for receiving. So Bergen had a 100-yard game again. So
he is, the things he does and like is able to do, just amazes me. And the thing is, like, I like being able to be in the stands like that, hearing other people's comments, like, could you just see what he did? And just like other fans, like, just being amazed at the talent that these people like Bergen and White and Fonts and just, it's just,
and that's what's crazy from last year, right? Last year, the thing is just get it to your playmakers, right? Right. Just get it to, and then you see that now where we're getting it to Fonts, we're getting it to Keelan, we're getting it to Bergen, and they have the talent where you just have to get them the ball, and they will turn it into something. Yeah. And so it's amazing to see what they can do, and they're all juniors.
Yeah, they are.
So it's not like they're going anywhere unless, knock on wood. But yeah, they'll be here next year.
That's just it, with all that talent and stuff. It just makes you wonder if Osmo might not change his mind, because he ran out with the seniors. Now Gubbs ran out last year with the seniors.
Exactly.
On the field. So they can always change their mind. It would definitely be interesting. So one other thing I wanted to say, I participated in something at the game that I never have before. My daughter wanted to go to the Griz walk, so we did. If you haven't done that,
it's cool.
It is very cool, especially if you have like younger kids and stuff. She sat there, we stood in line and stuff, and she said that she got high fives from 40 players, and all of her favorites and stuff. Monty even like gave her a big high five, and then like Coach Hout came up and shook her hand and was like, "Hey, how you doing?" and stuff. So it was just very cool, that whole thing. As much as these guys are getting ready for this game and stuff, it's very cool fan experience. The band's there, everybody's cheering them. I'm like, I wish we would have done that stuff back in the day. This is really freaking cool. Rather than we just walked over there and got ready. It was like, it's really cool that they've incorporated that. And if you haven't done it, I highly, highly recommend it. Whether you have kids or not, it's a cool experience to see all the players. And for instance, like being right up close to Clifton, I was like, holy cow, he's a big boy. Bigger than I thought. Like, Gubbs too. I'm like,
Governor's a
pretty big guy. Oh my God. Like, Gubbs is a man. Like, he is a man child. Like, he looks like a guy that can play in the league. So it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see him play in the league next year.
I would be, that'd be surprised if he doesn't. So he is a rare talent, and I'm glad that we have him, because he changes that defense. He makes that defense.
The way he can get off the ball, like, the other thing that amazed me, like, you watching Gubbs and the stems he's doing when he jumps from like one position to the next. Yeah, we're trying to get the offense to jump off sides, but it's also like shifting your positions. How fast he does that, in a 4-point stance, just blows my mind. Like, that's hard to do. His quick twitch, like, muscle. Yeah, he moves over, and then boom, he's hitting low off there and just attacking, and his hand placement. Everything he's doing is just right. It's just he's getting double, triple teamed, and he's still getting to the quarterback. The amount of times that he gets held,
is amazing.
Yeah.
He has rips in his jersey. He's got scratches all up and down his arm, and they do not call it.
And he doesn't complain about it either. He just keeps doing his job.
Exactly.
That's why, like, I'm excited for the playoffs too. Let's get some of these teams that have no idea about Mr. Cubner and our defense. Like, oh my gosh. Like, if for some reason, I think so, just if you don't know, Lafayette and Delaware are playing for the right to come play us. I'm kind of hoping it's Lafayette somehow.
Do you think the coaches on the other side, sorry to interrupt you, do you think they show it like Governor's like highlight reels and be like, all right, this is what you're going to be facing? And they're like, oh shit, are you kidding me?
Well, they have to watch film. And if I was the center, I'd be going, I have to deal with that all day.
I have to do what?
That's what I have to deal with?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a long
day. Like there's 3 other guys doing this with me, right?
My hamstring kind of hurts.
But
that's my point. Is like the center for Lafayette and the center for Delaware, after their game, whoever wins is going to watch that film and go, oh boy, that's the guy I got to go against. Because, the conferences they're coming from is different kind of football than the football we play here in the Big Sky.
Oh yeah, they're way different.
Yeah, I do really hope we get Lafayette though, just because Louisiana boys coming up to Missoula, Montana.
Yeah, that would be a little cold.
Will it be December then? I think it'll be December then.
December 2nd. Yep.
They're not going to like that too much.
No, they will not. They will not.
Not at all. So
it was kind of crazy too. Going kind of back to the game too, is that F-18 pilots, you could not see them, but you could hear them.
I was so bummed too. I was like, this fog, we're not going to get to see him, but you could hear that.
Yeah, you could hear it really, really good. And then also when they came back, it was really awesome. I don't know if you got to see this. They were kind of like right in front of us, kind of the side. They just like took their coats off, and they're all wearing like Montana gear.
Yeah, we all turned. So like where I was sitting in the Southlands, and we all turned up and looked at the Griz vision so we could see it pulling out, wearing the, that was awesome. It's like, I think it was awesome cool that they got them there so that they could, be recognized and stuff, because we all heard it. It'd have been cool if we could have seen it too, but I mean, still, anytime the pilots are taking their bomber jackets off and they're wearing Griz stuff, like
exactly.
There wasn't a single cat one. Usually you might get one in there. They were all Griz, man. Yeah, they were all Griz. It was so cool.
Yeah. So really cool. I was like, man, this is going to be interesting, because I looked at it and it was supposed to be like 45, 49, like 50 maybe and it was not. There was a inversion, kind of whatever you want to call it, kind of smoky or fog, and it was wet and it was cold. But man, I don't know if they were really ready for that.
You drove in from Helena that morning. Did you say it was like nice all the way into like?
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. It was sunny. It was, there was a little bit of rain, but right when we got into Missoula, it was like, whoa, what is this? It was just like, whew. Well, it was crazy because when they went off the fireworks were for the national anthem and stuff, like that haze from the fireworks was just like lingering. It wasn't like dissipating at all.
Yeah, just hanging down there.
Yeah.
So that morning I couldn't sleep at all. So like I was up at like 5 a.m. And
I get a text from you, you're like, I'm at the gym.
Yeah, I was like, it was just like, so I have a Planet Fitness membership, and I was like, I'm gonna go there. And I freaking went to Krispy Kreme from the family and got some donuts.
There you go.
But like when I got up too, it was super thick and there was frost everywhere. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is what I was expecting. It was just thick fog. But yeah, I would hit the gym because I was just like, my gosh, I need something to calm my butt down here.
Yeah.
Like it was amazing too. Like everybody like was jumping on Twitter early, like tweeting out like who's ready for the game, and like everybody was just like, I was glad to hear that like everybody was doing their pregame stuff, because I've actually been trying to go work out for the games like every week, and we've been winning, so I was like, I better go do that again. But like other people were doing the same thing. So like our friends in the Griz fan pod went by their tailgate and saw Brent and asked him, because he's been golfing every morning. He went, yeah, even though the golf course was open, he went and hit golf balls that morning. Like everybody was doing their thing that they were supposed to do.
That would have been cold. Oh my gosh.
Different people and stuff. They're like, yeah, I've got this. Jody, who made that cool shirt I've got.
Yeah.
Like, she messaged me and was like, I'm wearing my lucky shirt. I was like, thank God. Like everybody was like, we had to win this. So everybody was pulling out the stops, whatever they could think of for like their superstitions or whatever to make sure they do it. So
that's awesome.
Just so cool to get this win, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
well, and you can say like I had a couple Cat fans like, oh, we're just going to beat you in the playoffs, and we'll go into that. But like, I don't think this team's going to do that. Well, I don't think they got their hands, kicked, their butts kicked. I don't think that they come back and they have to face us in our own stadium again. Man, that's gonna be hard.
So let's just talk about that for a second. These Cats are already talking about how like, oh, we're gonna beat you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, before we talk about the Griz playoff stuff, let's just look at the Cats. So
Exactly.
they get a bye because they got the 6th seed. They are going to play the winner of Drake versus North Dakota State. Drake shouldn't even show up.
No, they're not going to show up. It's going to be North Dakota State.
Yeah, they're going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
Then NDSU is going to go to Montana State. Well, I don't care that NDSU is 8-3.
No.
I know that they're down a little bit. This to them is their ticket. It's a new season,
Exactly.
and they're going to start rolling. And if the Cats are looking to us, I'd be looking at the Bison going, okay, we need to beat them first.
Yep.
So, okay. So let's say that they did beat them. Okay. Then they're moving on to the quarterfinals. Well, that means they're going to face either Sac State, North Dakota. Those are 2 are playing. Then one of them is going to go play USD.
Yeah.
Who happens to be the 3 seed? So Montana State, even if they win, would have to go to Vermilion and play USD in their home. So, okay, Bozeman, Los Angeles. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if in the semifinals. Good luck with all that.
It's like the Dakotas of death right there, man. Like they got North Dakota, South Dakota, North Dakota State. It's like goodness.
Yeah, you got UND, North Dakota State, South Dakota already, and Sac State, who's Thompson, new season 2. Yeah, well, they're gonna have them fired up to go. But
I bet you Sac State doesn't get that playoff. North Dakota will probably get that playoff berth, and I think that's how they did it because the bottom ones on the bracket get the home games.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yep.
And so, like on the first round, so North Dakota gets a home game, North Dakota State gets a home game.
Yep, they do.
And so then South Dakota will get a home game. But man, when they revealed that, I was driving, and so
Montana State gets a home game against probably North Dakota State.
I'm thinking,
and let's say they win it, but then they're going to Brookings.
Yeah, I'm grateful for the FCS Fans Nation. They had kind of a special kickoff thing while they were going through it and kind of previewing the bracket. Yeah, so definitely go check it out, guys. It's really cool. They go over like as they were reviewing the bracket, and so their main thing is that they want to do a show with people that actually watch FCS. Right. Some of those guys on there do not watch it, and some of the things that they said, they gave us like I think like a 3% chance of Montana.
Yeah, there's something out there right now on ESPN that puts the Cats higher than us.
Exactly.
And they have like North Dakota State, who's
higher than us as
seeded,
well.
Like a 17% chance, and then like they give the Jacks 57. Now I'm not going to disagree with the Jacks at 57. They're definthey ahead of everybody, but the rest of that is a bunch of BS.
Yeah, and they totally messed up X name that they said his name. So their thing is just let's do a reveal of people that actually watch it that are actually knowledgeable. Exactly. It was really kind of nice because I could actually see I could hear it going through driving and stuff. And I was just like, I was like, okay, please don't put us with NDSU like that. I would love to beat them, but that would just like my nerves would just be out of this world. And so let's talk about that bracket. Yeah. Let's talk about the bracket since we're already talking about it.
Let's talk about our side of the bracket.
Yeah. So we did one quadrant below us, or below that quadrant that we just went over would be our quadrant.
Yep.
You've got, us, the 2 seed, and then the other seed with us is Furman.
Thank you.
And so Furman, thank you for losing to Wofford. I think we would have even got it if you won, but they dropped from 2 to 7.
Yep.
And what was really interesting is they didn't have their quarterback. I think his name's like Tyler Huff. And so they did not have their quarterback for that game. So I was kind of surprised that they didn't get maybe like a 4 or a 5, just because I thought maybe they would have put that into the perspective.
Even if you don't have your quarterback, losing to a 1-9 Wofford the last game of the year.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, not good when it's the last game of the year.
Yeah.
Like, they do that early in the season, okay, and they're on a roll now, fine. Yeah, you're not worried about it. But the last game of the year doing that, that's what does. I think that's what dropped them, because if it would have been like, let's say they would have lost to someone like North Dakota State or even Delaware or something like that, they probably wouldn't have gone down to 7. They probably would have stayed in like a 4 or 5. But because of that, I think that's what dropped them to a 7 seed.
Yeah, and so the winner, who is going to play Furman, would be Chattanooga and Austin P. Chattanooga, by all accounts of what I've heard, is like that last team in, which I'm surprised they kind of got in, because there's some other teams that I thought, like Western Carolina,
Davis was going to get in, man. Like,
I thought Davis and Western Carolina had a better chance of doing that than Chattanooga.
I did too. I totally did.
So, from all accounts, I think Austin P will probably win that one. But that's just me. You never know on these games. And then
I think Austin P will probably pull that off just because they're at home. So
yeah. And then you go to the one, and we probably shouldn't say this because we're giving people information. Then we got Lafayette and Delaware playing the 25th to come to Missoula. So I don't know too much about these teams, and we can kind of go over when we win or when they win to play us. Yeah, I know that Delaware is in the CAA. Lafayette, I have no clue. I have no clue. So
I don't know much about Lafayette at all. Yeah. My wife grew up in southern Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
Which is in Louisiana, and she just goes, "Oh boy, those boys from Lafayette aren't going to want to play in Montana if they win that game." Yeah. My bet is that Delaware win. I think Delaware, I mean, they historically have had a good team, and all year they're the one team from their conference that I was kind of going, they've been good, and I was kind of worried about that they might jump higher up in the rankings. So I think Delaware will probably be the one that we end up playing. I still think they're not going to be ready to play us.
No, and so like Delaware, why they were supposed to be a higher seed too, is they lost to Villanova, which Villanova, with that win, they beat them 35-7, got the 8 seed because of that win, basically. And so it was kind of weird because you have Albany and you have Villanova and you have Delaware from the CAA, I believe, and Richmond.
Yeah. And the CAA got quite a few, and I was surprised at that. I just don't think they're that good of a conference.
Well, no, they have 15 teams, and so like they had like a 2-way tie for first and a 2-way tie for second, basically, because of they don't play everybody, so you don't know who's good. And so
they even put that letter out this year about like how the ties, there's gonna be so many and all this. And
yeah. So
weird.
You could go across from us, guys, and you've got the 5 and the 4 seeds. So the 4 seed is Idaho, and the 5 seed is Albany. Albany, whatever you want to call it. So you got North Carolina Central and playing Richmond to place Albany, and then you've got Nichols versus Southern Illinois.
Yep.
To play Idaho. Nichols basically beat Incarnate Word. They do not. I think they're like 6-4 or 6-5. Something crazy where you're like, how did they get in? Well, they got in because of an automatic qualifier because they won their conference.
Yeah, they won their conference.
And
they played Sac tough for a little bit, then Sac just walked away from them.
Yeah. So that's going to be an interesting kind of area bracket. You look at Idaho, and Idaho, after their first round, team, that they've got a pretty good chance of making it to the round of 4.
Yeah.
So
I think, their little quadrant that they have, of all those teams, I feel like they're the best.
Did you see what they did to Idaho State with their backup quarterback?
No, I did not.
63-21.
Oh my gosh.
I think it was like 49-0 at halftime.
Jeez, no, I did not.
And they were playing their backup quarterback.
Yeah, missed that. So
yeah, we were eating dinner, and my friend Mike turned it on to the Idaho game, and I'm like, they're not playing. What's his face? He's like, what? I'm like, yeah. He's like, they scored 49 points already. I'm like, yeah.
So that's great that their backup is pretty good too.
Idaho State, they had more penalties, or actually they had more interceptions than completions at one time. It was not good. I feel so sorry. I was telling my friend this is like, going into that game, you if you are Idaho State, you're like, oh, we've had a great year. We have something to build on. And then you play Idaho and you're like, what the hell happened? We lost.
Idaho State has been playing some teams tough.
They have. And then you lay an egg and 63-21.
Ouch. Ouch.
Yeah.
Sucks.
So the last quadrant, guys, you've got the 1 seed, South Dakota State. That was kind of a given.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to play either Gardner-Webb or Mercer. Mercer, this is their first
chance in South Dakota State.
Yeah. Mercer is like the first time that they have made it to the playoffs. I think this is like one of the first years, I think, and I heard this, since like the World War I or World War II that they've kind of restarted the program.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And so that's what I got from the FCS boys, Fans Nation, that they said that they just restarted their program here in the last year or two. Yeah, so definitely something to kind of cheer for them about, because that'd be kind of cool to see them kind of go on.
Yeah, I'd like to see them go on to play the Jacks, but
yeah, they're not going anywhere else.
Sorry for them to have to play the Jacks in Brookings, because December 2nd in Brookings is usually like negative. Yeah, it's super cold over in Brookings.
It's super cold. Yeah.
Like you tell people that South Dakota State plays outside, and they're like, really? They don't play in a dome? No, they don't.
No. Yeah, I remember watching a little bit of the South Dakota State Montana State game, and it was like a sheet of ice.
Yeah, it's cold over
there. The last little area is you got Villanova as the 8 seed, and you got Duquesne and Youngstown State.
Youngstown was one I was kind of surprised they got in.
Yeah, well, they were ranked in the top 25 pretty much all year.
Yeah,
but I wasn't expecting them to get in either. So
yeah, because they kind of have an up and down season, but I mean, they are from the Missouri Valley, so again, you and I both feel Missouri Valley and Big Sky, those are the 2 best.
Yeah,
and even our second half teams could probably beat a lot of the playoff teams from
some of
these other conferences. So
yeah. So yeah, that's the bracket, guys. Looking at the bracket, I think that they, except for that Chattanooga, I believe that one kind of like makes me think.
I think Davis should have been in with them personally, but
yeah. Other than that, I think these teams are pretty accurate. I don't know how you don't put you put Sac State in and you don't put Davis in.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't
Davis beat them.
That's why I don't understand why Davis didn't get in. I mean, it's almost like they went, well, can we really put 5 Big Sky teams in? They've done it before.
Well, they did that with the MVC teams, though.
Yeah. So it's like,
I
don't know. I don't get it. I feel for Coach Hawkins down there, because it feels like he's always got them right on the edge, and they
Well, they put 6 Missouri Valley teams. Southern Illinois. You've got Youngstown State. You've got South Dakota State, South Dakota, North Dakota State.
Yeah. Right.
So
6.
Goodness.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm surprised. I thought we'd get one more, but
yeah.
I mean, I guess I was surprised with the Sac and the Davis thing. Like, I didn't know how they were going to do that, because Sac had been ranked so high for so long, yet they take an L from Davis, who had been taking L's. So just it'll be sad. I'm interested to see how Sac responds now that they made it. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Well, and just let you guys know, the Montana game is scheduled for December 2nd at 7 p.m.
Oh yeah,
night game.
Yeah.
So definitely, I don't think you can buy tickets yet. I don't think.
I don't think so yet. I wanted to say they were going on sale like
They had a countdown ticker. I was trying to find it.
I can't remember. Yeah, there's something. They're not on sale yet though. But yeah, it's December 2nd at like 7 p.m. is when that game will be. So
definitely cool. And there's some awards that kind of peaked today too. Bobby gets the little finalist for the Eddie Robinson Award, which is the Coach of the Year.
Oh yeah,
National Coach of the Year. Eli Gilman gets the Jerry Rice Award he's a finalist of the National Freshman Player of the Year.
Yep, he was. That's right.
So, and then there's a ton because I think they had the team banquet Sunday.
Yep, they sure did.
And so, let me just kind of give. I gotta get
into it. For those, I've got them up right now.
Okay, yeah, definitely go through. I'm trying to get it up here real quick.
Yeah, I've got it up. So we got Dylan Smith and Clay Oven were Defensive Scout Team Players of the Year this year. So congratulations. Those are future Griz. I happen to get that award myself. Me and
there you go.
Joel Robinson shared that years and years ago. Michael Ray got Offensive Scout Team Player of the Year. And then
that's a legacy boy.
Yep, absolutely. And then the Houck Family Special Teams Player of the Year, Garrett Graves. The Outstanding Back or Receiver Terry Dillon Award, Mr. Eli Gilman. That's pretty impressive as a freshman getting the Terry Dillon Award.
Yeah.
The Tony Barber Award was the best example of outstanding practice habits and unselfish contribution to the betterment of the team. Thank you.
Yeah.
Both Levi Janicaro and Braxton Hill share that award.
Which I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't think of two better individuals that exemplify that right there. Outstanding offensive lineman, the Paul Westcamp Award, goes to Mr. A.J. Forbes, the quarterback of the offensive line, the glue that holds them all together this year.
Yeah, and he's the one that doesn't get the awards and the recognition on that line, but he does so many great things.
Oh, so many great things. And the award that didn't surprise me at all, Outstanding Defensive Lineman, the Sims Miller Award, goes to none other than Mr. Alex Gubner himself, with the best defensive line sack dance in the nation.
Oh, man. So I like Alex, but I love AJ Forbes and McDowell's as well.
See, but that's offensive. I'm talking defensive.
I know, but I love that one too. I was telling one of my friends about it. He's like, I never seen it. I'm like, what? You've never seen it?
It's my wife's favorite too. That's her favorite.
Oh, man.
When Clifton and AJ do that.
Yeah.
You can kind of thing from Street Fighter.
Like Street Fighter, yeah.
Next one is the Doug Better's Golden Helmet Hardest Hitter Award. Goes to Mr. Tyler Flink. So, I mean.
See, I was thinking like Terrell too. He's a good tackler too.
Terrell has. Wilson's laid the wood a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I get Flink has been, I mean, out there just laying it out there. So
exactly, yeah.
Pretty sweet to see him get that. Most inspirational player, the Pat Norwood Award, goes to Mr. Sawyer Racanelli. That was kind of a surprise because that's like that internal, like, who's always there, upbeat, going for his guys. So
yeah,
I believe that is all of them, and the fact that we're Big Sky Conference champions and they all get rings now.
Exactly, that's cool.
A comment I thought was funny. Bobby was like, "Yeah, back in the day, we used to use these things for doorstops. Be nice to see us doing that again. We're winning so many Big Sky Conference championships." But congratulations to the whole team getting rings. I mean, just so awesome. Some of the scenes we saw in the locker room, they're all taking pictures next to the 306-pound trophy and the 13-pound trophy, and then like smoking cigars. And way to enjoy the win. Like,
so why is it? And I was talking to a friend about this. Like, Ferris State got in trouble for that.
What?
Like their coach got suspended in the playoffs for that because the NCAA came down on them for when they won the national championship. Their players were smoking cigars. So is that going to happen to Bobby? Like I don't understand like why we could do it, but they couldn't do it.
Well, I don't know because they sure didn't suspend LSU and Ed Ogeron when Burrow and them were smoking them. So
yeah.
it may just be one of those
Division 2 rules or
something. It could be on the Division 2 side, or I mean, I don't know.
This is really interesting.
Yeah, not sure, because it's like, how can you let someone like the FBS guys do it, and that you come down to D3? It's like,
yep. Well, FBS guys can do whatever they want. It's not a division. It's not a. The NCAA doesn't control that. The Power 5 do, or a Power 3 or Power 2,
whatever. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, pretty awesome for all those young men to get those different awards and stuff. And like I said, we still got to wait for the Eddie Robinson Award. Nice to see that. I mean, I've heard this from different people. It's like, is this Houck's best coaching performance? I'm going to go out right now and say yes.
I would say from where the team was to where they are now.
Exactly.
I don't know how it wouldn't be.
The whole narrative has changed. I mean, from that NAU game where people are going, Houck's needs to be gone. We need to get rid of this. I mean, heck, we were talking some of that stuff, and
we were, and it was hard not to. Like, it was hard not to because of the fact that we, like, honestly, like they were. We had seen things that we had not seen before. The actual mental side of it, the effort side of it, which in Houck teams you don't see that. So it was something that
it made everybody question it. And like to going back again, I think that had to happen, because if that doesn't happen, I don't think we're at where we're at today.
No,
and I think it made gut check time for team, for all the players, all the coaches, everybody, and look what it's done. The way we bounced, hit bottom, and bounced back and just kept going in that upward trajectory has been huge.
Yep.
And so I think this is Bobby's best coaching performance yet.
Yep.
What he's taken with this team, and he said it himself, he's like, I'm not sure what we got here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look what we have here now. We have a team playing together. The defense is kind of this no superstar defense, which really have a bunch of superstars on there, but they just play as one unit. When they say do your 111th, that's really what they're all doing out there. You watch them, they're all doing their job, and they feed off each other. And it's just like, I watched them on Saturday and thought, oh my God, I wish I was out there. They're having so much fun right now.
Oh, no, right?
God, that would be fun to be down there and suited up and watch them playing with these guys. Like, I was jealous with the amount of fun they were having on the field. And I commend Bobby for what he has done, and his coaching staff. What they've done is just unbelievable. And
amazing.
Like, we talk about developing players and stuff. Look at Clifton's development through the years. He doesn't look like he's shot putting the football anymore. He's throwing that ball, like doing a great job at it. So, I mean,
exactly.
I applaud them all.
Exactly. And they keep on getting better each and every week, which is something that's hard to do. They haven't. And I think that this is probably one of the most complete games that they've played. But at the same time, you look at, and this is being critical, but hey, we've had a lot of penalties.
Mm-hmm.
You get 2 red zone areas where, hey, we got 2 field goals, but you did leave, 8 points on the field where, man, could you imagine 45-7?
No, you're right. That penalty thing has been struggled. We've struggled with that one part. We still haven't corrected that yet.
And so in a rivalry game, you're gonna expect those. You hope that it's not out of control, but you're gonna. Did you see how Osmo got that personal foul? Because I never saw that.
I never saw it during the game, and I was hoping to catch it on the replay, and they don't show it. Like,
no,
everybody around us was baffled because they're like, wait a second, how does an offensive player get like a late hit out of bounds? The only thing that I can think of is if a few weeks back, you remember when McGinnis blocked
he drove him out.
That's the only thing I can think of, is that he was actually blocking and kept blocking and blocked out of bounds, and that's where they got it. That's the only thing I can think of, but I haven't seen any video on it or anything. So I guess what I'd like, if someone saw it, let us know, because I didn't see it, man.
I didn't, because on the replay, when I watched it here at home, like the Bobcat 26 was like freaking out because he's like, it was me, because he thought it was him. Yeah. So I didn't see it one bit. So
well, I think they showed Osman. He was like looking around too, like, what? Like
Yeah.
I think maybe they called the wrong number. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was weird. One thing with the refs though, I haven't mentioned yet. I was pleased with how they let players play, like especially secondary, both sides. There was some hand fighting in the offense, defense, but they realized what type of game it was, and they were letting them play a little bit. And I appreciate.
Well, they were jawing too. They were jawing at each other, which
happen.
I think it's going to happen, and I'm glad that they didn't like.
Yeah,
they were respectful of that rivalry where they'd get in and say, "Come on, guys, let's go," and the players would just stop.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better. They were totally respectful of rivalry. It felt like this crew understood what this game was and what this rivalry was coming into it. And I feel like for the most part, they did a really good job at officiating that game.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad, like, compared from last year to this year, right? Last year we lose a Sac State game where it was pretty much like instant replay did not help us there. Like in this game, like they've got some things going on with instant replay that I think are really good that will help, that have helped.
Yeah.
And it's not like where you're like, oh my gosh, they got that one wrong. Holy cow. Where it could have happened this game and they went to the replay and they got it right.
Which they got it right.
Nice.
Yeah. Which is, I think it feels like across college football this year, the change that they've made in replay, it seems to be better. That little set they bring out and whatever they're doing, I think they're using that on the field, but they're also in the booth looking at it and they're working together to speed it up, but then also make sure it's right.
Yep.
So it feels like those blunders that we had last year may have helped to fix the replay this year because it feels like it's being officiated more correctly more often.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So, any last thoughts, Luke?
Man, just an absolute blast. For everybody I ran into, it was so good to see everybody. Just awesome, like meeting people and like ran into a lot of just old friends and just, I mean, had an absolute blast. My daughter had a blast, my wife, everybody, all my friends that were there. So just so fun to be in that place.
Yeah.
Enjoy that win. FTC and can't wait.
Every day. So yeah, it was awesome to see. We had a lot of people like invite us to some tailgates. So
we didn't make it to every one of them.
We did not.
It was amazing how stuck you go to one and run into people. It was just like, and then the other thing too, like you and I both talked. Yeah, we wanted to get in early too to the game to make sure we're in time.
Yeah,
see everything. Like I like watching them warm up. I like see what's going on and all that. So
well, and there's a lot of people that were waiting outside. Like there's people that sat by us that said, "Hey, we were waiting in line for an hour," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, I didn't want to be.
We got right in at 11 and got to our seats, and I had an awesome, sandwich, squeal of the pig sandwich, and it was awesome. So
yeah, I there is a lot of people that didn't get in right away, and I just tell you, just go in early, man. It's fun.
Go in early.
Go watch the team warm up. You don't have one extra beer. Just go in, and then
exactly.
The other thing I'd like to say is like, please stay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still couldn't believe all the people that left and went out at halftime. It's like, man, just stay. Or I would love to see the university just serve beer in the freaking stadium. The whole thing. You're doing it in these little sessions. Do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just do it so that everybody stays. Like,
yeah. You'd probably make more money.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Could you imagine the revenue that the university would make if they just
Idaho does it?
Well, Northern Colorado does.
So I don't know why if Idaho and Northern Colorado can do it, why can't they?
North Dakota State does it. So it's like, make a few phone calls, find out how it works for them. Let's do it.
Exactly. Oh, and if you want certain, like they have one section that they do it in, and maybe they're trying to play with it, but I don't know.
Well, it seems like every year we get a little bit more, and eventually I think you'll have it in the stadium. So.
Yeah, I don't think you can't not. With money wise, it's something that's the last grab that they could get.
Well, what a revenue generator it would be, because there's one thing we know: us Montanans and people that enjoy watching the Grizzlies play
like to drink. Yep. Well, yeah, I try to I second that. It was great to see some people that kind of invited us to those things, and it was great to see some friends and also just past players too. Saw Tremaine Johnson there as well.
I didn't see True. My daughter got to meet Sammy for the first time. She was
awesome.
That. He came over and was talking to me for a little bit, and I got introduced her to Sammy. So she thought that was pretty cool. But
awesome,
pretty awesome.
So yeah, he's a great guy. Like he's got some talent.
Sammy's so good. Like it always amazes me whenever I talk to him is how tall Sammy is.
Oh yeah, he's
like,
yep,
and just the nicest guy. Like I watched him interact. He is so good with the fans and everything. And I tell you what, like if this football thing doesn't work out for him, he has got a career in broadcasting.
Oh, he does. He
is talented and just great.
And he's doing it right now. He's doing it for the Skylines. Is it? It's Coulter Nuanez is
and that was kind of like, he hopped on like the pre-games. He's doing that stuff too, and the post games, and it was kind of like he hopped on as a guest, and it was like, man, you're good at this. Stay. And now he's a regular, and like you said, Coulter's having him do stuff. It's very cool. It's working out well for him.
Exactly. Well, guys, we've got some questions. Sorry, I didn't get it out there. I got it out today just because driving back and then just having some family time, and it was a long trip back.
I could have thrown it out there, and I forgot because I was all pumped about this bracket challenge thing. So
yeah. So Eric at the Eric Witz, which was great to meet you, Eric, at the tailgates. What was the better troll of the game? Riley's video comparing Los Angeles and Missoula, or playing Moni Moni post Osmo Dagger?
So I'm going to say Riley's thing. And here's the reason I say that. The Cat fans around us were pissed about it. Like mad, like actual mad. And we're all laughing and like just enjoying it. And they were like offended. So
I couldn't. One thing that I didn't know about that
left already. So that's why I'm like, they had already left. A lot of them around us.
One thing that I did not know is that they couldn't play the state song.
Yeah, that was so
cool. I did not know that.
That the University of Montana has the rights to that song.
Yeah,
and they're not allowed to play it.
Which I thought was awesome. One of my friends was like, what? Are you serious? I'm like, that is awesome.
That's like the ultimate troll right there. Like
that is.
Play the state song because that the rights are to the University of Montana. We won't allow you to play it. Like that's
awesome.
I was like, that's freaking awesome. How did I not know this? This is
exactly. Shane at Settington 87. How are your voices? Attend every game, and somehow mine is still wrecked today, but I could still talk about Saturday for hours. Shane, mine was Sunday morning was a little hoarse, and it's getting better because I had to talk all day today, being a teacher. So, it was not good at all.
Yeah. So, like I said, my wife's was bad going in. Hers was gone yesterday. Mine was bad. So here's what we did. We left our hotel. We went straight to Walgreens and we bought cough drops and
there you go.
For our drive to Spokane because my daughter too, we were all just like, we need something. Like it was worth all of it. Like that was the cool thing too. Like when we were on defense, everybody around us was just giving it everything. I mean, usually, the north end zone, we expect that. Well, I tell you what, that south end zone, everybody was. And that lady's annoying voice just made us all yell a little bit louder too. To kind of give it back to her. So.
That's awesome. We got David Heights at David J. Heights. I know nothing about the schools from the East. Obviously, Delaware was just ranked number 7 before last weekend. But who would be the better matchup between them and Lafayette? So we don't really know too much about them. Lafayette, I have no clue who they are. To be honest with you, Delaware, I know they're in the CAA, but we'll go ahead.
I was just saying the one thing I did, like, because we were talking, we didn't know a lot. So not that we can trust the Versus app, but I went ahead and ran them both schools against Montana just to see.
Yeah.
So Montana versus Lafayette. Lafayette's out of the Patriot League. They give us an 82% chance of winning, and they figure we're going to win 29-14. Montana versus Delaware, and Delaware's out of the CAA. They have given us a 75% chance of winning 26-15. Now, their scores have been way off. They've been just dumb all year. But what this tells me is that, they'll be lucky to score any points, either team, and we'll probably put it in the 30s somewhere. So, yeah. I mean,
well, in the Patriot League, not to go anything against the Patriot League, but
you can say
that it's, I don't know. I don't think it's a great conference by any means.
It's not.
So
Delaware should win. Like here's a freebie for the bracket challenge. Pick Delaware.
So like they lost Duke 42-7. And some of these scores are pretty close, like they're a touchdown or so away from some of these schools.
Again, I think the CAA isn't what it used to be.
Yeah.
The Patriot League and stuff isn't. It's not Missouri Valley or Big Sky.
Yeah.
So, we could see these teams coming in and being like those that remember like back in 95 or, the 2000s when they come in and we beat them 70-0. And, it's like, I thought these were playoff teams. But yeah, it's a different kind of football we play out here in the Big Sky.
Yeah. So let's see here. The Lafayette Leopards. Lafayette Leopards. I was looking at their at a little preview here. John Troxel is their coaching.
Well, what we'll do too.
Yeah.
Whichever team.
We'll
next week. We'll both watch film on them. We'll break them down some more and let you know more about them and stuff. So because we're not. So those are the two that we're looking for the presser today. Whenever we don't play the next week, they let the coaches off. We didn't have a QB club meeting either because they just try to give them a break. So there'll be a presser next Monday. QB club will be back on next Monday. So that's why those things weren't happening today. People were looking. So
our last question is from Bridger at B. Dean Lord. Is there an offensive player in the conference that has had a bigger role in their team winning than McDowell?
Jeez. I mean, as far as our turnaround, McDowell's undefeated starting.
Yeah. I would say probably if you're looking at probably the Cats, you'd look at their quarterbacks, but we just beat them handedly, and their quarterbacks sucked. Right. So
the only other person I can think of is like that Hayden Hatton from Idaho.
Yeah, but he goes quiet. When he wants to, he could be dominating, but he has so many times where he just goes quiet and is not even active.
Yeah.
Where I don't know how.
I just think about all those balls he was catching at the end of the game of ours.
Oh, yeah.
He's got stop number 80.
Yep. Yeah. Do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's not close. Clifton has done something special this year, and it's not over.
No.
He keeps saying, keep stacking. He's just going to keep stacking these wins. And man.
Yeah. Well, and he says his next question is Big Sky offensive MVP. He says he doesn't have the stats, but should get it, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to get it either, but he does have a ploy for it. That
he should. Because
he should. He probably won't.
MVP doesn't mean best stats. It means the most valuable player.
Yeah.
And I would say Clifton is. Like, we talked about this last week in the pod. You can go back and listen to it if you want.
Yeah.
Someone asked who was the biggest change, adding Clifton or Ronnie Bradford. And I was on the Clifton bandwagon because I'm just like, I feel like he has made such more significant. Ronnie's done a great job too, like we said, but I think with his leadership, and that's what we kept saying at the beginning of the season, we need someone to be that leader.
Yeah.
And he took that job and he has just been running with it. And the team responds to him and they love playing with him and for him. And it's just, he's made the whole team better. And that's awesome.
Yep.
We're lucky to have him.
We are. That is, I believe, the last question we have here.
Cool.
Yep, that's the last question. Guys, we can't thank you guys enough for listening to the podcast. We're just two couch potatoes. At least Luke has played. But I'm just a huge couch potato that knows nothing about football. But we love talking Griz football, Griz sports. So thank you for listening. Thank you for telling your friends about us. We love that. Also, just make sure that you rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get it, especially on Apple, and gets us out there more. And then also, like Luke has been working on slaving away. If you want to be a part of the bracket challenge, definitely get on to Twitter and find it on our side. And it's also Luke has it as well.
And if
then
you
you can
see
go
it, please share it out there too. Share it with your friends. It's free to play. It's just something fun for all of us to do. And hey, I'm donating a few Griz prizes for people to, win. So
there you go.
Why not win some cool stuff?
There you go. There you go. And also, guys, if you guys have any questions, you guys want to get a hold of us at fightonmontana on Twitter and Instagram. You guys can find us on Facebook as well, on our personal accounts as well. And so, yeah. Until next week, guys, go Griz, right?
Heck yeah, go Griz and FTC.
That's right.